we've got global quality scientists, we've got some of the best doctors in the world, but unless the right molecule is developed in the right way, you will lose money. How many UK companies are we seeing that are becoming specialty pharma players and global pharma companies? The answer is single digit to none. In addition to hardcore investment banking, we have a restructuring business. So the past 12 years, we've restructured over 170 biotech companies. So companies where either the CEO has been let go or the company has a drug failure. And we're running 3 of those at the moment. We've done 10 this year. The second part of our business is a drug development advisory business. So if we look at, for example, 50% of phase 3 drugs fail. If you look at those and analyze them, we've analyzed 1,500 data points, 75% of those could be avoided. So in our mind, the drug development advisory business is the biggest growing part of our business, where we look at the studies that companies need to run. Are they commercially relevant, and is that the best study to run for that drug?
So what would you say are some of the major pitfalls that biotechs and executives fall into?
Thinking in verticals rather than thinking in longitudinally. So it's a bit, you do your phase 1 to get through phase 1. You do your phase 2 to get through to phase 2. You run your phase 3 to get approval, and then you think about, am I going to sell the product? So each step, unless you know what you're aiming for, it's very difficult to have a smooth transition from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. And a lot of companies in phase 2, when they should be thinking about what is the optimal commercial impact of the drug, what happens if there's generics coming out, how does this become relevant to patients and doctors and by therefore investors and potential commercial partners, people are running the best clinical study they could run, trying to fix phase 2. So one of the companies we invested in about 6 years ago is about to go bankrupt. And on that one, fantastic product, great breast cancer product, run in a way that was optimal for each vertical. And regardless how much advice we gave them, that company was going to run the study, they were going to run it. And the company will maybe get to market, maybe go under. So I'd say 85% of failures we see is us failing the molecule, not the molecule having not delivered.
And then on the flip side, what would you say makes a biotech or a study particularly successful? Some early markers that you think are really positive?
A happy team that understands what it can do, understands what it can't do, and puts the right ecosystem around themselves to have the right expertise. So it's not too scientifically based, it's not too medically based, it's not too commercially focused, but a happy team that knows what their capabilities are and knows whether they get capabilities from other people, and surrounds themselves with the right advisors who will give you honest advice.
And so when you're investing and also advising, how do you determine the level of input that you have?
We will only invest in situations where we take operational control. Every time we've seen things go badly is because poor decisions were made. So you can have the right molecule, but unless the right molecule is developed in the right way, you will lose money.
Over the past couple of years, it's been quite a tumultuous time for the industry. What direction do you think we're headed in?
We have pressure in favor of nature pricing. We've got pressure when it comes to tariffs, generic erosion, and all of that stuff. But we need to be better versions of ourselves if we want this industry to continue growing. 75% of the failures we see in drug development are avoidable. You have a 37% overspend by CROs when you're running a study. Average study delay is 9 to 12 months. Unless you fix those, you have an industry which is going to continue to struggle to attract capital. So, for example, if I said to you 50% of clinical studies that read out from high-quality CROs have material data capture issues, you wouldn't accept that in automotive, you wouldn't expect that in aeronautical, you wouldn't expect that or accept that in any other industry.
We're here for the Jefferies Conference in the heart of central London. How important would you say the UK is to the global biotech industry?
If I ask you a question, how many UK IPOs are we seeing? How many UK companies are we seeing that are becoming specialty pharma players and global pharma companies? The answer is single digit to none. If you then go to San Francisco, you go to Tokyo, you go to New York, you have a huge number of Brits that are doing great work outside of Britain. That's not where the industry I stepped into. When I stepped into industry 20, 25 years ago, we had, AstraZeneca doing great things, which it continues. CAT, all of those great companies that were British companies where the talent stayed in England. A lot of that talent has now spread. So how are we doing as a biotech industry in the UK? We're doing a great job of populating biotechs and large pharma outside of the UK. How much of that talent has stayed in the UK? A fraction of what should have stayed in the UK.
What do you think needs to change to retain domestic talents?
You need to give talent a reason to stay. Second is you need to have those companies be able to raise money in the UK. Valuations in the UK are incredibly challenging versus valuations elsewhere. So the ecosystem isn't quite there to help those companies succeed. And that ecosystem was there 10, 15 years ago.
And do you think, in terms of the governments and the economic plans they've laid out, do you think they're taking biotech seriously as a priority over the next few years?
They've laid out a plan, and we've had multiple plans, but unless you address the fundamental underpinnings that you need the right molecule, which I think we can find, you need the right scientists. We've got global quality scientists. We've got some of the best doctors in the world. We have all the infrastructure to be successful. I don't think we have the right ecosystem. Will this plan either stimulate the next generation or attract that human capital back to the UK? I don't know.